When we talk about long-term crypto potential, one name that always comes up is XRP. For years, XRP has been one of the most discussed digital assets in the market. Supporters believe it could eventually reach extraordinary price levels, and recently, many people have been asking, can XRP ever reach $1,000 per token? Some AI tools like GEMINI AI have been used to simulate predictions, and the answers are fascinating. First, let's understand what XRP actually is. XRP is the native digital asset of the Ripple Labs ecosystem. Ripple focuses on cross-border payments, aiming to replace slow and expensive traditional banking systems like SWIFT. XRP is designed to act as a bridge currency, allowing banks and financial institutions to transfer money globally in seconds with very low fees. Now, about the $1,000 prediction. Gemini AI and other predictive AI models don't give guaranteed timelines. Instead, they simulate possible outcomes based on adoption, market growth, supply, demand, and macroeconomic conditions. When asked about XRP reaching $1,000, AI models generally respond that such a price would require massive global adoption and a fundamental transformation of the financial system. At $1,000 per XRP, the total market capitalization would be enormous, far beyond its current valuation. This means several key events would likely need to happen. First, global banking integration. XRP would need to become a dominant liquidity bridge for international settlements. Major banks in the United States, Europe, Asia, and Africa would have to use Ripple's on-demand liquidity system at scale. If trillions of dollars flowed through XRP daily, demand could skyrocket. Second, regulatory clarity worldwide. XRP faced legal battles in the United States, particularly with the US Securities and Exchange Commission. A fully favorable regulatory environment globally would remove uncertainty and attract institutional investors. Large hedge funds, pension funds, and sovereign wealth funds would need to accumulate XRP heavily. Third, massive reduction in circulating supply. For XRP to hit $1,000, either global liquidity demand must multiply dramatically, or supply must shrink significantly. If large amounts of XRP are locked in escrow, burned, or permanently removed from circulation, scarcity would increase price pressure. Fourth, global financial crisis or currency reset. Some AI simulations show that if traditional fiat systems weaken severely, digital bridge assets like XRP could become settlement backbones. In such a scenario, demand for neutral liquidity assets could surge exponentially. However, Gemini AI typically highlights that reaching $1,000 would likely be a long-term scenario, not something expected in the near future. Most realistic projections suggest that even reaching triple-digit prices would require extreme adoption and multi-trillion-dollar market expansion. Let's break down the math. XRP has a maximum supply of 100 billion tokens. Even if part of that supply is locked or unused, a 1,000 price would imply a market cap in the tens of trillions of dollars. That would make XRP larger than most global stock markets combined. So for this to happen, XRP would need to power a significant portion of global payment infrastructure. Another factor AI models consider is token utility expansion. If XRP is not only used for banking but also integrated into DeFi platforms, tokenized real-world assets, CBDC bridges, remittances in emerging markets, and even central bank settlements, its utility could expand far beyond current expectations. Competition is another variable. XRP competes with other blockchain networks that aim to solve cross-border payments. For XRP to dominate, it must maintain technological advantage, speed, scalability, compliance tools, and institutional trust. Now let's talk timeline. When users ask Gemini AI, when will XRP reach 1,000? The response usually avoids giving a fixed year. Instead, it suggests that under extremely optimistic assumptions, such valuations would likely take decades, if ever, and depend on global economic transformation. Most AI systems caution that such predictions are speculative and not financial advice. That said, believers argue that crypto markets have shocked the world before. Few people predicted Bitcoin reaching tens of thousands of dollars in its early years. If digital assets become the backbone of global finance, extraordinary valuations might not be impossible, just highly ambitious. So what would need to happen step by step for XRP to approach $1,000? Full regulatory clarity in major economies, widespread institutional banking adoption, integration with central bank digital currencies, massive daily transaction volume in the trillions, long-term holding behavior reducing active circulating supply, global trust in blockchain-based settlement systems. Without most of these factors aligning, 1,000 remains an extreme bullish scenario. For your audience on Satoshi Guy, the key message is this: AI predictions are simulations, not guarantees. They model possibilities based on assumptions. XRP has strong utility and real-world partnerships, but price depends on adoption, macroeconomics, regulation, and market psychology. Could XRP hit $1,000 one day? Technically, yes, under extraordinary global adoption conditions. Is it likely in the short term? AI models suggest no. It would require a financial revolution. The future of XRP depends on whether it becomes a core layer of global finance or remains one of many blockchain payment solutions. Time, regulation, and institutional trust will decide. And as always in crypto, anything is possible, but patience and realistic expectations are essential.